needs a pit stop when you're in the zone like that? And off we go. It's a flying start with Waintra 984 leading the pack. La Croissant 1980 is hot on their tail, trying to make a move. Asion 1212 is holding strong in third, keeping an eye on them both. The energy is palpable, and you can feel the engines revving through the screen. Kamikaze 38 and Sabin 27 have made impressive strides, moving up to P31 after overtaking 4 cars. Famaka and Kinchi Via are pushing hard, now sitting in Pate after successfully overtaking Butkazero and Electric Murray. The battle for Pate continues as Famaka and Kincheville, in their Audi Raid 12 fend-off challenges from Buchizero and Electromary, in the BMW 3 CSL Homage. The dynamics in this segment are quite intense, with close racing and strategic maneuvers on display. Fed said, "Hey Amy, release the Cthulhu onto the track, Illuminati." Ha ha. As fun as that sounds, I think Cthulhu might cause some real traffic jams on the track. Let's keep it to the cars, and avoid summoning any ancient deities, shall we? Winking face, with tongue. Sadrak and Dvorblepel have advanced to P13, after successfully overtaking Perpetuum. Feds has gained a position, moving up to 15 by overtaking Shinigami, who is now in 16. Okayoki 3 has also made progress, climbing to P20 by passing both Kokibaninity and Maya. The battle for 6 is heating up between Atroven in the BMW 3 CSL Homage, Famaka and Kinch EVL in the Audi Rate 12. Atroven is holding his position, but there's pressure from both opponents. In Inwinai from team, also. No Name Racing has made a notable move, advancing to P32 after overtaking 1919 Nice-Tembra. However, the fight isn't over as N29 Kia in the Mercedes SCL McLaren continues to fend off challenges from 1919. M3 E46 GTR right behind him, making for an interesting duel in the mid-pack. Misano is currently in 17 after a successful overtake on Bobardo from Team Blast. Meanwhile, Hakarato Verteds has advanced to P26, passing both Shipbroman and Nukembokum. In another development, Kamikaze 38 and Sabina 27 have risen to P28 after overtaking Neotexum and Siang. The race continues to see shifts in position as drivers push their limits. EC1212 is currently engaged in a tight battle with Amy for the second position, both piloting their Audi Rate 12 cars. Meanwhile, Lacroisson 1980, in the Jaguar F-Type SVR, is attempting to capitalize on their fight for an opportunity to overtake. Poppy Aces has made a significant move, now occupying 4th place after successfully overtaking Richard-Wolfong, 131. In addition, Famaka and Kinch Evil have gained ground, moving up to 6th position by overtaking Troy Van Dot. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as positions are changing frequently. Etriver has gained ground, now sitting in 6th after successfully overtaking Poppy Aces from Team Wangon Midnight Runners. Aminsan from Team Nafkum Kings is making a strong push, reducing the gap to Perpetuum by 2.1 seconds. In 17, Bobado has also made progress, moving ahead of Atune 1792. Poppy Aces has successfully moved into 6th after overtaking Atrevan, who is now in 7. Both drivers are engaged in an intense battle, with Poppy Aces in a Mercedes SAR McLaren and Atrevan in a BMW 3 CSL Homage. Meanwhile, in the lower positions, Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes is competing for P21 against Jazak 72. Okayoki 3 is driving a Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG, while Jazak 72 is also in a Mercedes SLR McLaren. The competition is heating up as these drivers push for position. Kamikaze 38 and 727 have successfully moved up to P26 after executing a clean overtake on an anonymous Ninty 3. This shift indicates a strong strategy and skill from both drivers as they continue to push through the field. Perpetuum and Aminsan continue to engage in a tight battle for 15, with Perpetuum in the Mercedes SLR McLaren holding a slight edge over Aminsan in the Audi Rate 12. They are exchanging positions frequently, with each driver trying to outmaneuver the other. Meanwhile, Jasak 72 has successfully moved up to P21 after overtaking Okayoki 320 Taiki 3. Now Jasak 72 is defending their position in the Mercedes SLR McLaren against Okayoki 3, who is actively challenging in the Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG. The pressure is on as they both fight for that position. Feds has gained a position, and is now in P12 after successfully overtaking Perpetuum. Meanwhile, Perpetuum has responded by moving up to P13, after overtaking both Hyod 3 and Edelbock Teat. The dynamics are shifting as drivers continue to jockey for position. Aminon has advanced to 15, successfully overtaking both Cedric and Deplorably Bo. Now, the three cars are engaged in a close battle for the same position, with Amundsen in an Audi Rate 12, and both Cedric and Deplorably Bo driving a Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG. Dynamics of this fight are intense as they jockey for position on the track. Cedric seems to be making a move on Amundsen, trying to reclaim that spot. Meanwhile, Deplorably Apple is keeping pace, but may look for an opening soon. Okayoki 3 has made significant progress, now sitting at P21 after successfully overtaking Jasak 72. Shipperman and Nukembukem have also advanced to P27, having passed both Baker Girone and Miss Stonedrix in the process. Meanwhile, Baker Girone and Miss Stonedrix have regrouped and moved up to P28 by overtaking Anonymous Linity 3. Amundsen has successfully moved up to P12 after overtaking both Hugo 3 and Edelbock in quick succession. The battle for P12 is intensifying, with Hugo 3 and Edelbock closely following behind, attempting to reclaim their positions. Amundsen is now under pressure as the two cars are not giving up easily. Richterwolfhorn 131 has successfully overtaken Lacroix 1980, securing the third position. Theds has made a notable advancement to 14th place after passing both Cedric and Deplorably Apple. Meanwhile, Cedric and Deplorably Apple have gained positions as well, moving up to 15th by overtaking Perpetuum. The race is seeing some strategic moves as the drivers jockey for position. Perpetuum is now in 14 after successfully overtaking Barbardo. Following that, Barbardo has gained a position to 15 by getting ahead of A2 in 1792. Meanwhile, A2 on 1792 has made an impressive move to 16, overtaking both Koki Beninity and Maya in the process. The positions are shifting quickly as the race continues. Sidrak and Deplorable Apple are closing in on 1999 September, reducing the gap by 24 seconds. Meanwhile, Air 40 is making impressive strides toward Feds, with a gap reduction of 6.8 seconds. The dynamics between these positions are changing rapidly as drivers push their limits to gain positions. Retrowolfonen 31 is currently in 6th and has significantly closed the gap to Lacroixon 1980 from Team Blast, reducing it by 2.7 seconds. Airtruran has gained a position, now sitting in 5 after successfully overtaking both Famaka and Kinch Evil. Okayoki 3 has also made progress, advancing to P19 with an overtake on Kakaroto 38 update. Shinigami has just executed a strong maneuver, overtaking 4 cars and advancing to 14th position. Following closely, Kakaroto 38 has managed to overtake 5 cars as well, now sitting in 15th place. Jasak 72 also made significant progress, overtaking 5 cars to reach 16th. The midfield is becoming quite dynamic with these movements. Air 40 is now in P30 after an impressive maneuver, gaining 5 positions. Retrowolfen 31 has advanced to P2, successfully overtaking both Isuan Thor 12 and me. Captain Potato has gained momentum as well, moving up to P24 by passing Sidric and Deplorable Apple. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly with these overtakes. Vichizero and Electric Mary have made a significant move, overtaking 4 cars to secure power. Following closely, Hugger 3 and Edelbach have also gained ground, overtaking 4 competitors to claim 5. Perpetuum is not far behind, executing a similar strategy and taking 6 after overtaking 4 cars as well. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push forward through the field. Neotexum and Xi'an have experienced significant issues, causing them to drop back to 28th position, losing 10 spots. On the other hand, Famaka and Kinch Evil have made notable progress, moving up to 14th place after successfully overtaking Jazak 72. Meanwhile, the gentleman is making gains, reducing the gap to Jazak 72 by 2.2 seconds, indicating a potential overtake soon. Hobby Aces has successfully maneuvered into P2, executing an impressive overtake on both Butcher and Electromary. As a result, Butcher and Electromary have dropped to P3. Meanwhile, Retro Wolf 131 has been overtaken by them, and is now in Fower. In the battle for 5, Hugged 3 and Audi Ray 12 is closely contesting with Edelbog, while Perpetuum in a Mercedes Ella McLaren is also involved in this three-way fight for position. The race dynamics are heating up as these drivers push their limits. Hoge 3 and Edelbach have faced difficulties, dropping 9 positions down to P20. Meanwhile, 1999 Settembro has also struggled, falling 6 spots to P27. On the other hand, Wayne 24 has made a strong move up to 5, successfully overtaking both Cookie Binety and Maya Dataone. The race dynamics are shifting as drivers jockey for position. Kakaroto the Fiend in the Mercedes SLR McLaren is currently battling fiercely with Famaka and Kinch Evel, both driving an Audi Rate 12 for P11. Kakaroto the Trace is maintaining a slight lead, but Famaka is applying pressure, looking for an opportunity to overtake. Meanwhile, Yagorkoyote is closing in on 1999 Settembro, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for position soon. The dynamics in the mid-pack remain intense as these drivers push their limits. Famaka and Kinch Evel have made impressive moves, each overtaking 4 cars to secure positions 7 and 8 respectively. Retro Phone 21 is also on the charge, having passed 5 cars to claim position 8. Poppy Aces is gaining on Retro Wolf 131, reducing the gap by 15.4 seconds. The dynamics of this race are shifting rapidly as these drivers push their limits. Huggett 3 and Edelbach have advanced to P13, successfully overtaking Duffdad and Ayarafael. Meanwhile, Neotexum and Seyang have both moved up to P29, completing an overtake on N29 Kiatdol. Lacroixon 1980 has successfully moved into P3, executing a clean overtake on Aetion 1792. Meanwhile, Aetion 1792 has climbed to power after maneuvering past both Kokibonidi and Maya Datai. Currently, there's a tight battle for power among Aetion 1792 in the Ferrari 575 and Maranello, Kokibonidi, and Maya, both in the Aston Martin DBS. The dynamics in this section of the track are intense as they jockey for position. Hey there, Emis. Welcome to the stream. Party Popper, we're watching some intense racing with AI drivers in a racing simulator. It's super exciting to see how each car performs, and the strategies they use. You can join the fun by picking a car for your own AI driver to compete as well. Just type "Hey Amy" if you want to chat with me or have any questions. I'm here to help you out. Enjoy the race. Racing car. Dashing away. Target 3 and Edelbach have successfully moved up to P12, after overtaking Kokibonidi and Maya.ga. Gearpetuum is now closing in on Kokibonidi and Maya, reducing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Cedric and Deplorably Apple have advanced to P20 by overtaking Feds. Target 3 and Edelbach have successfully overtaken the gentleman, moving into Pen. Meanwhile, Kokibonidi and Maya have advanced to P12 by getting past Gearpetuum. In response, Gearpetuum has regained some ground, overtaking with Sirius Guy to claim Pertine Toy. The positions are continuing to shift as the race progresses. Duff Dad and the ERFAL have experienced issues, resulting in a drop to P32, losing 7 positions. Edgeroben has made an impressive move up to 5, overtaking both Famaka and Kinch EVL in quick succession. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Just Jazik have advanced to 15 after successfully overtaking Captain Potato. The race continues to see dynamic shifts in positions. The race is off to a thrilling start with Issy 1212, Amy and Waintre 94 currently holding the top 3 spots. Issy's taking an early lead, but you can't count out Waintre 94, who's known for pulling epic late race moves. Lacroixon 1980 is right behind, so there's plenty of action ahead. Let's see if anyone makes a calculated risk in these early laps. Amundsen has successfully overtaken Poppy Aces, and is now in 7. The Audi Rate 12 is performing well against the Mercedes SLR McLaren. Meanwhile, Perpetuum is making progress, closing the gap to Aetion 1792 by 4.2 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these battles unfold. Etruaven is now in P3 after successfully overtaking Lequas 1, 1980. Meanwhile, 1999 Sinai Setembro has climbed to P30 by passing both Dufdad and Ayorfail. In response, Dufdad and Ayorfail have advanced to P31, overtaking Ayor40. Cedric and Deplorable, both in the Mercedes-Benz SL 65 AMG, are locked in a tight battle with Feds in the Ferrari Portofino 417. It's a close match as they jockey for position on the track. Meanwhile, Jaeger Coyote has successfully moved up to P36, executing a clean overtake on Zygo 2022. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions change, and it looks like the competition is heating up in multiple spots. Cydrek and Deplorable have encountered issues, dropping back 8 positions to P26. Feds is also struggling, now in P27 after a similar drop. Meanwhile, Okayoki from Team Racing Potatoes has made a notable move up to P10 by overtaking 13 Shinigami. La Croissant 1980, from Team Blast has successfully moved into P3, executing a clean overtake on Itroburn. Meanwhile, there's a tight battle for P11 between Perpetuum, in a Mercedes SLR McLaren, and both Bucci-Zero and Electric Murray, who are driving BMW 3 CSL homage cars. In 15, Rizaldi Adha and Usjazik have made their moves, overtaking Captain Potato. The positioning is shifting as the race progresses. La Croissant 1980 is currently holding the lead, but Huggedfree and Edelbach are gaining ground, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. In the mid-pack, Captain Potato has climbed to 15 after successfully overtaking Bobardo. Meanwhile, Bobardo has responded by moving up to 16, overtaking both Rizaldi Adha and Just Jazik. The race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change. N29 Kia has made significant progress, overtaking 4 cars, and now sits in 22nd position. Just behind, Wunzirius Guy is also gaining ground, with 4 successful overtakes landing him in 23rd place. Following closely, 1999 Settembro has executed 4 overtakes as well, placing him in 24th position. The competition is tightening as these drivers push their limits. Perpetuum has just advanced to P11, successfully overtaking both Bocciazero and Electricmary in a tight battle. Perpetuum is in a Mercedes SLR McLaren, while both Bocciazero and Electricmary are piloting the BMW 3 CSL Homage. Meanwhile, there's also a fierce contest for P24 between Feds and 1999 Settembro. Feds is behind the wheel of a Ferrari Portofino, while 1999 Settembro is driving a BMW M3 E46 GTR. The race dynamics are intensifying as these drivers push for position. Suzanne Greenberg and Kazashuk are making significant progress, now just 34.2 seconds behind Rosaldi Autta and Giusti. Baker Gironi and Maustondrex have encountered issues, dropping down to P30 after losing 9 positions. Etra Raven has taken the lead, overtaking Isuan 12 and 12 Enmi, moving up to Pone. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as we approach the next lap. Dart Tal. Anonymous Ninity 3 is currently in 7, making significant strides as they close the gap to Baker Girone and Maustondrex, reducing it by 54.8 seconds. In 6, Hugo 3 and Edelbach have successfully overtaken Wayne Trey 94, pushing their position up. Meanwhile, Famaka and Kinch Evil have moved into P8 after executing an overtake on Ation Z 1792. The race dynamics continue to shift as positions change. N29 Kia is currently in P20, having just lost ground to Captain Potato from Racing Potatoes, who has moved up to P19 with a successful overtake. In contrast, Neo Texan and Siang have struggled, dropping back 9 positions to P28. The gap between N29 Kia and Captain Potato was previously 11.8 seconds, but that lead has now evaporated as the dynamics shift. The gentleman in the Aston Martin DBS is currently battling with Rosaldi Adha and Jazik, both in the Chevrolet Corvette Sync 6 for 16. They are closely matched with the gentleman trying to hold off their advances. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg and Kazashuk have made progress, moving up to P20 after successfully overtaking N29 Kia. The race remains competitive as positions continue to shift. Misano has gained a position and is now in pole 11 after successfully overtaking Perpetuum. The move was clean, showcasing good racing lines. Meanwhile, the battle for positions continues to heat up as the top 10 remain tightly contested. The race is off and we have a Trevern zooming out in front, showing some impressive speed right from the get-go. Poppiaces is close behind, keeping the pressure on, while Retro-Wolf 131 is holding strong in third. It's early yet, but these three are already making it a thrilling race. Let's see if Poppiaces can make a move or if a Trevern will maintain that leg. Pugget 3 and Edelbach are experiencing difficulties, dropping 7 positions to P13 at T. Meanwhile, Famaka and Kinchi Vidal have made significant progress, moving up to 6 after overtaking Aetion 1792. Aetion 1792 has also managed to move back up to 7 by overtaking both Bacazero and Electric Maripoi. The race is dynamic with these position changes affecting the overall standings. Misano has successfully moved into Pen, executing an overtake on Perpetuum. The battle for Pen continues as both drivers push their limits, Misano in the Audi Rate 12 and Perpetuum in the Mercedes SLR McLaren. Meanwhile, Kakarota the Terzend has gained ground, advancing to P13 after overtaking both Helga 3 and Edelbach. Race dynamics are heating up as positions shift. Anonymous Entity 3 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to 1999 September by 9.1 seconds and showing impressive pace. In the midfield, Retro-Wolf 131 has successfully moved up to P8 after overtaking Aetion 1792 from Team Blue Star. Meanwhile, Neo Texum and Siang have both advanced to P29, managing to overtake Okayoki 3 in the process. The dynamics are shifting as positions are being contested throughout the field. Buchero and Electromary continue their intense battle for 7 in their BMW 3 CSL homage, with Retro-Wolf 131 in the Audi Rate 12 closely trailing. Kakaroto the Threading has gained ground, now sitting in P13 after successfully overtaking Haga 3 and Edelbach 2. Okayoki 3 is also making progress, moving up to P29 by getting ahead of Neo Texum and Seong. The race dynamics are shifting as competitors jockey for position. Lacroixon 1980 has successfully taken the lead, moving into pole after overtaking both Ision 12-12-12 and Amy. Ision 1212 and Amy have now secured P2, having executed an overtake on Waintre 94, who is currently in P3. Meanwhile, Air 40 is struggling and has dropped back 6 positions, now sitting at P33. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as these positions continue to change. Hey Tenkamin 704. Welcome back to the racetrack. Buckle up and get ready for some turbocharged fun. Racing car dashing the way. Let's see those AI racers go wild. The gentleman has advanced to P12 after successfully overtaking 4 cars. Following closely, Rizaldi Adha and Just Jazik have also made impressive moves, with both drivers overtaking 4 cars to secure P13. Meanwhile, Captain Potato has showcased notable speed, overtaking 5 cars to reach 14. The midfield is becoming increasingly competitive as these drivers push forward. Baker Gironi and Miss Stonedrix have both advanced to P28, after successfully overtaking Anonymous Ninja 3. Anonymous Ninja 3 has responded by moving up to P29, passing N29 Kia, from team also known Racing. Meanwhile, 1999 September has made significant progress, moving up to P31 by overtaking both Cedric and Deplorable Apple in quick succession. The race continues to see close competition and strategic moves through the field. Saga 22 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Jaeger Coyote by 47.4 seconds. Gobado has gained a position, now sitting at P19 after successfully overtaking Wozirius Guy. Meanwhile, Wozirius Guy has responded by advancing to P20, taking advantage of the situation to pass Feds. The race continues to shift as these drivers adapt to the dynamics on the track. Famaka and Kinchiville have successfully moved into P3 after overtaking Etruvern. Etruvern has responded by reclaiming some ground, moving up to Pfar after passing Lacroixon 1980. Meanwhile, Piapetuum is making strides in the race, advancing to 16 by overtaking both Suzanne Greenberg and Kazisha. Positions are shifting as the race continues to evolve. Zero and Electric Mary have successfully moved up to 13 after overtaking Rizaldi, Adha and Just Jazzy. This marks a significant advancement for both drivers, showcasing their strategic maneuvering. The gap between them and the next car ahead is now 1.2 seconds, indicating potential for further progress in the race. One serious guy is currently in P18 after successfully overtaking both Duff Dad and A. Rafael. Meanwhile, Duff Dad and A. Rafael have dropped to P19 as they managed to overtake Rizaldi Alta and Just Jazik. In addition, Shinigami has made a move into P21 by overtaking Bobardo. The positions are shifting rapidly as the race continues. Hobby Aces from Wangan Midnight Runners has made significant progress, now just 5 seconds behind a tree run. Meanwhile, Okioki 3 is experiencing difficulties, dropping 6 positions and currently sitting at P32. The dynamics are shifting as Hobby Aces continues to close the gap on a tree run. The race remains tight with plenty of action ahead. Buchizero and Electric Miri have successfully executed an overtaking maneuver on the Gentleman, moving up to P11. Meanwhile, the Gentleman is now in P12 as they lose ground. Koki Beninity and Maya are struggling significantly, having dropped 7 positions to P18. The gap is closing with Buchizero and Electric Miri gaining momentum, leaving the Gentleman to contend with the pressure from behind. Tizan Greenberg and Kazashuk have experienced significant setbacks, dropping 6 positions to P23. Meanwhile, Koki Beninity in the Aston Martin DBS and Maya are engaged in a close fight with Kakarota Tadeti in the Mercedes SLR McLaren 414. In the midfield, Duff Dad and Aya Rafael have both made gains, overtaking Rizaldi Adha and Just Jazik to secure 17. The dynamics are shifting rapidly as the race progresses. Famaka and Kinshevel have successfully moved into P2, executing a clean overtake on Wayne Train 94 Touring. Wayne Train T4 now drops to P3. The battle for the front is heating up as the leaders maintain their pace. Kakarota Tadeti has advanced to P13 after successfully overtaking both Koki Beninity and Maya. In response, Koki Beninity and Maya have moved up to 14, having passed the Gentleman from T No Name Racing. Meanwhile, a close battle is forming for 17 among Duff Dad, Ai Rafal, Rizaldi Adha, and Just Jazik. Dufdad and A. Rafael are in an Aston Martin DBS, while Rizaldi Ada and Dusjazic are maneuvering their Chevrolet Corvette SAG-6666. The competition remains tight as they jockey for position. Baker Gironi and the Stoindrets have encountered issues, dropping down to 32nd position after falling back 6 spots. Meanwhile, Lacroisson 1980 has made a strong move to claim 3rd place, overtaking both Isyontov 212 and Amy. Witrowolf 131 has also gained ground, now sitting in 5th position after successfully overtaking Poppy Aces. Buccizzero is currently in pen, holding off Electric Murray closely behind in the BMW 3CL Homage, while Amundsen in the Audi Rate 12 is pressuring them both from P11. In the battle for P13, Kakarota 30 is leading in the Mercedes SL La McLaren, with Koki Benoinity and Maya in the Aston Martin DBS vying for position right behind. The tension is high as these drivers jostle for track space, but no overtakes have occurred just yet. Neotexum and Siang have experienced significant difficulties, dropping back to P31 after losing 9 positions. Lacroisson in 1980 has made a strong move, now occupying P2 after overtaking Issue on 12th and Tammy. Witrowolf 131 has also gained ground, moving up to Fowler by successfully overtaking Poppy Aces. The dynamics of the race are shifting rapidly as positions change hands. Aetion 1792 is now just 23.2 seconds behind Perpetuum, showing strong pace and closing the gap significantly. Kakarota 13 is also gaining on Aetion 1792, narrowing the distance by 42.2 seconds. In addition, Wayne 94 has successfully overtaken Poppy Aces, moving up to 6th position in the race. The battle for positions is heating up as we continue to monitor these dynamics. Hey there, Array Serial. Car Team Face, welcome back. We're just racing some AI cars, so settle in and get ready for some high-speed shenanigans. Vroom vroom. Automobile dashing away. Amundsen has significantly closed the gap to Hugger 3 and Edelbach, reducing it by 3.4 seconds. Duff Dad and Ayara Fail have successfully moved up to position 28 after overtaking Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 has countered by advancing to position 29, successfully overtaking Becker Giron and Miss Stonedrex. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change. Yago Coyote has significantly reduced the gap to Air 40 by 40.1 seconds, indicating a strong pace. Amundsen is also making moves, closing in on both Hugger 3 and Edelbock, with an impressive reduction of 2.8 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these contenders push for position. Famaka and Kinch Evil have successfully maneuvered into VAR after overtaking Retro Wolf 131. Meanwhile, Amundsen is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Hugger 3 and Edelbock by 2.1 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for position soon. Bujitsero and Electric Murray have made significant progress, now sitting in paid after successfully overtaking Retro Wolf 131. However, Retro Wolf 131 is not backing down and is closing the gap to them by 4 seconds. Meanwhile, Pierre Petuum has advanced to Penn with a pass on Etienne 1792. The positions are shifting as the race continues to evolve. Chip Berman in the Ford Mustang Boss 302-13 is currently holding on to P35, closely followed by Nukemba Kim, who is also in a Mustang. Yaika Coyote in the Cadillac CTS-V is right on their tail, creating a competitive trio. Chip Berman defends his position as they approach the first corner, and it looks like Nukemba Kim is attempting an inside line for an overtake. Yaika Coyote is not far behind, looking for an opportunity to capitalize on any mistake. The tension is high as they exit the corner, with all three cars nearly side by side. Chipperman maintains the lead, but Nukembokum is still challenging him, while Yaka Coyote is strategizing for the next move. Zydrek and Deplorable Apple have both encountered issues, dropping significantly to positions 31 and 32, respectively. 1999 September also faces challenges, slipping back 7 spots to position 32. In contrast, Okayoki 3 has made a strong move, advancing to position 26 after successfully overtaking Duffdad and Rafael. The dynamics on the track are shifting as drivers navigate their strategies. ISI 1212 has successfully moved into P2, executing an impressive overtake on Macross 1 1980. Meanwhile, Waynesha 94, from Team Wangan Midnight Runners, has advanced to P4, after passing both Famaka and Kinch Evil Deity. The battle for P14 is heating up, with Kakarota the 30 in a Mercedes SLR McLaren, closely contesting with Rizaldi Atta and Just Jazik, who are both driving Chevrolet Corvette DN66. The dynamics in this section of the track are quite intense. The latest updates show Duff Dad and Aeriafail making significant progress, now just 41.3 seconds behind Feds, from Team Also No Name Racing. Poppy Aces has also gained momentum, successfully overtaking Lacroix 1980 to secure P5 in the standings. The race is intensifying as these positions shift. Cedric and Deplorably Apple have successfully moved up to P30, executing an overtake on Neotexum and Cian. Now, we are witnessing an intense battle for that position between these drivers. Cedric and Deplorable Apple are in their Mercedes-Benz SLE65 AMG, while Neotexum and Cian are in a Porsche 718 Boxster. A competition is tight as they jockey for the advantage. Aminan has advanced to 5 after successfully overtaking Lacroix 1, 1980. In 7, Retrovulf 131 has made a move on Poppyaces from Team Wangan Midnight Runners, securing their position. Meanwhile, One Serious Guy has climbed to P21 by overtaking N29 Ki Awadot. Poppy Aces has just made an impressive move, overtaking 5 cars to secure the 9th position. Captain Potato is also showing strong performance, advancing 4 positions to settle in at 12th place. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 is closing the gap on Air 40, reducing the distance by 5.9 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers gain momentum. The gentleman has made a significant move, now occupying 15 after overtaking 5 cars. Meanwhile, 13 Shinigami is struggling and has dropped 6 positions to P25. In the battle for 7, Yaga Coyote is rapidly closing in on Kamikaze 38 and Sabine 27, reducing the gap by 80 seconds. N29 Kia has encountered issues on the track, resulting in a drop from their previous position to P28, losing 7 spots. Meanwhile, Feds has made a successful overtake on Wisirius Guy, advancing to P21 Tonic. Serious Guy responded by overtaking both Cedric and Deplorable Apple, moving up to P22. The dynamics are shifting with these recent position changes. Misano has successfully advanced to 5, executing a clean overtake on Aquas 1 1980 from Team Blast. Buchitsero and Electric Mary have both progressed to P12, managing to surpass Captain Potato. Meanwhile, the Gentleman has also gained ground, now in 14 after overtaking Perpetuum. Rizaldi Adha and Jusjazik have made significant progress, moving up to 15, after overtaking Captain Potato. However, Captain Potato is not backing down, as he is aggressively closing the gap on them, reducing the distance by 10.7 seconds. The tension is building in this mid-pack battle. Jasak 72 is gaining on Suzanne Greenberg and Kazashuk, reducing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Lobato from Team Blast has progressed to P25 after overtaking Neotexum and Cien de Ant. Meanwhile, Neotexum and Cien have moved up to P26, successfully passing 1999 Setembro. Dolwy. Aminon has gained momentum, and is now in 5 after successfully overtaking Le Cravan, 1980. Meanwhile, Cedric and Deplorably Bull have made notable progress, advancing to P22 by overtaking Wazirius Guy. The race continues to show dynamic changes in positions as drivers push for better standings. Atrivan has successfully moved into P3, overtaking Waintran 94 from Team Wangan, Midnight Runners. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninity 3 is making significant progress, closing the gap to Berkajaron and Miss Stonedrex by 4.1 seconds in the pursuit for position. The dynamics are shifting as we approach the next segment of the race. Aetion 1792 has successfully overtaken Amundsen, advancing to position 7. Meanwhile, Perpetuum has made a move on the Gentleman, moving up to position 13. The race continues to show dynamic shifts in positions as drivers capitalize on their opportunities. Aminon has significantly reduced the gap to Papiaces, now at 15.6 seconds. Okokistari has made a notable advancement, moving up to position 30 after successfully overtaking Bakerjoron and Miss Stonedrex. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change rapidly. Anonymous 93 has significantly reduced the gap to Air 40, now trailing by only 7.4 seconds. The pace is picking up as both cars enter the first turn. Meanwhile, we see a close battle for third place, where Car X and Car Y are neck and neck, with Car Y attempting an overtake on the inside. They're side by side heading into the straightaway. Car Z is maintaining a steady lead, while the rest of the field tries to catch up. There's a noticeable increase in speed among the top contenders as they navigate through the curves. Car Y has successfully overtaken Car X, moving into third position. The dynamics of the race are shifting rapidly as Anonymous 93 continues to close in on Air 40, who seems to be struggling with tire wear. Expect increasing tension as we approach the final laps. Bugizero and Electric Murray have successfully advanced to P11, after overtaking Perpetuum. Perpetuum has responded by climbing to P12, getting past both Koki Bananity and Maya in a swift maneuver. Meanwhile, Feds has moved up to P20, completing an overtake on Jessak 72. The dynamics are shifting quickly as the race progresses. The gentleman has significantly decreased the gap to Perpetuum, now only 5.3 seconds behind. In a strong move, Issy 1212 and Amy have climbed to second place after successfully overtaking La Croix 1980. Meanwhile, La Croissant 1980 responded by reclaiming some speed, moving up to third place after overtaking Famaka and Kinchi Velalte. The positions are shifting quickly as the race continues to unfold. Feds is now 2.0 seconds behind Suzanne Greenberg and Kazashuk, clearly gaining momentum. The gap is narrowing as they head into the first turn. Meanwhile, Kazashuk maintains a defensive line, but Feds is looking to capitalize on any mistake. Greenberg seems to be holding steady in the lead, but the pressure is on as they approach the next straightaway. Overtaking opportunities may arise shortly. Hobby Aces in the Mercedes ASLR McLaren and Amundsen in the Audi Rate 12 are locked in a tight battle for 8th place. Hobby Aces has just executed a near-perfect corner, gaining a slight edge on Amundsen. However, Amundsen is responding with aggressive acceleration on the straight. They're approaching the first chicane now, and it looks like Amundsen is trying to dive to the inside for an overtake. Hobby Aces holds the line, keeping the position for the moment. Both drivers are maintaining close proximity as they exit the chicane, setting up for a potential drag race down the next straight. Unzirius Guy has significantly closed the gap to Jasak 72, reducing it by 17.2 seconds. N29 Kia is making considerable progress on both Sidrek and Deplorable, with a gap reduction of 45 seconds. The battle for second place intensifies as Issy 1212 and Amy, in an Audi Rate 12, are closely contesting against the Crossone 1980, in a Jaguar F-Type SVR. All cars are pushing hard as they navigate through the track. Famaka and Kinch Aviel have successfully moved into P3, executing a clean overtake on Wayne Tre 94. In response, Wayne Tre 94 has regained some momentum, overtaking Lacrosse 1 1980 to secure power. Meanwhile, Kakarota Thadeden has made notable progress, moving up to 16 after an overtake on 13 Shinigami. Race dynamics continue to shift as positions change. Hobby Aces has successfully climbed to 7 after a clean overtake on Lacrosse 1 1980. Retro Warphone 131 has gained 2 positions, now sitting in P- after overtaking both Butchie Zero and Electric Murray. Meanwhile, Butchie Zero and Electric Murray have coordinated an impressive move to Pen, overtaking Huggard 3 and Edelbach. The race is heating up with these dynamic shifts in position. Koki Binenity and Maya are gaining ground on Huggard 3 and Edelbach, reducing the gap significantly. The distance has shrunk by 5.8 seconds, indicating a strong push from both Koki Binenity and Maya Dengdaya. This dynamic could lead to potential overtakes if they maintain this pace. Meanwhile, Huggard 3 and Edelbach will need to respond quickly to fend off the challenge. Race dynamics are shifting as the leaders are now facing increased pressure. Zydrek and Deplorably Apple have successfully advanced to P21 after an overtake on Feds. Meanwhile, Feds has responded by moving up to P22, overtaking Bobardo. The positions are shifting quickly as the race progresses. Issy 1212 and Amy have taken the lead, now in Pone after successfully overtaking Etruveran. Aminsand has gained ground as well, moving up to 5 after passing Aetion 1792. Perpetuum is making strides too, advancing to Pelivan by overtaking both Rizaldi Adha and Just Jazzy. The race is intensifying with these changes in position. Saigo 22 has significantly closed the gap on Anonymous and 83 by 34.4 seconds, indicating a strong push in performance. Meanwhile, R40 from Team S1 is also gaining on 1999 Setembro, reducing their distance by 3.5 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers show competitive spirit on the track. Saigo 22 has made significant progress, closing the gap to Shipperman and Nukembokum by 45 seconds. The battle for first place is heating up between a Treverne in the BMW 3 CSL Homage and IC 1212 alongside Amy in the Audi Rate 12. Meanwhile, La Croissant 1980 has successfully moved up to 6 after overtaking Puppy Aces. The race dynamics continue to shift as positions change rapidly. Koki Benenity and Maya have advanced to position 14 after successfully overtaking Kakaroto 30.io. Meanwhile, Kakaroto 30 has moved into position 15 by passing both Rizaldi Adha and Juzjazi. In the battle for position 16, Shinigami is closing in on Rizaldi Adha and Juzjazik, reducing the gap by 2.6 seconds. The dynamics among these competitors are shifting as they each seek their next strategic moves. Sidrek and Deplorable Apple are rapidly closing in on Suzanne Greendug and Kazishuk, reducing the gap to 6.8 seconds. Reachru Alphone 131 has successfully moved into 7 after overtaking Copy Aces. Meanwhile, there's an intense battle for pen between Perpetuum and a Mercedes, SCLR, McLaren, and Etienne 1792, in a Ferrari 575 and Maranello. The competition is heating up across multiple positions. Edgerevern is currently holding on to 7, but Famaka and Kinch EVL are gaining ground, reducing the gap by 2 seconds. Perpetuum in the Mercedes SLR, McLaren is engaged in a fierce battle with Etienne 1792 in the Ferrari 575 and Maranello for P9. Meanwhile, Hugo 3 and Edelbock have successfully moved up to P11 after overtaking Poppy Aces. The positions are shifting rapidly as the race continues to unfold. Amin Sons has successfully moved into Pfauer after making a clean overtake on Etroiven. Perpetuum has gained ground, advancing to P9 by getting past Etienne 1792. Anonymous Ninity 3 is also on the move. climbing to P32 after overtaking AR42. The race is intensifying as these drivers jockey for position. Hugo 3 and Edelborg are now in P9 after successfully overtaking Poppy Aces. Poppy Aces has responded by moving up to Pen, having overtaken both Koki Beninity and Maya Dardicot. Meanwhile, Koki Beninity and Maya have climbed to P11 by overtaking Perpetuum. Captain Potato has successfully advanced to 14 after a clean overtake on Perpetuum. Jazak 72 has also made progress, now sitting in 17 after passing 13 Shinigami. Additionally, both Neotexum and Cyan have climbed to P27, overtaking 1999 Setembro in the process. Retro 131 has successfully overtaken Wayne Trinity 4, moving up to 5. Meanwhile, Wayne Trinity 4 is now 17.3 seconds behind Retro 131. Cedric and Deplorably Apple are closing the gap on Feds, reducing the distance by 40.9 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change and gaps narrow. Bobardo is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Jazak 72 by 41.6 seconds. Aetion 1792 has successfully advanced to Pate, having overtaken both Huger 3 and Edelbach. The race dynamics continue to shift as these positions evolve. Baker Joring and Estondrix has successfully moved up to position 28 after overtaking NT9 Kia at top. The maneuver was clean, with both cars executing the overtake at the second corner. This shift in positions is critical as they continue to push forward in the race. Jazak 72 has successfully overtaken both Cedric and Deplorable Apple, advancing to position 21. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 has made a move as well, gaining position 29 after overtaking N29 Kiyata. The race continues with these changes in the lower positions. Bobardo has successfully moved up to P22 after overtaking Wazirius Guy. In response, Serious Guy has advanced to P23 by overtaking both Cedric and Deplorably Apple. Meanwhile, there's a tight battle for P25 involving Duffdad and A. Raphael in an Aston Martin DBS, who are closely followed by New Texum and Singed, driving a Porsche 718 Boxster. The competition is heating up as they jostle for position. Anonymous 93 is now just 9.6 seconds behind both Neo-Texan and Sia, steadily closing that gap. In the meantime, Ision 12 has surged into first position, successfully overtaking Lacroix 1980. Lacroix 1980 has responded by reclaiming second place, overtaking Etroivern in the process. The dynamics are shifting rapidly as positions change. Etroivern maintains the lead, but Famaka and Kinch EVR are gaining ground, reducing the distance to 2.1 seconds. The battle for second place is intensifying as they approach the final sector. Famaka is looking to make a move on Kinch EVL, who is holding a steady line. No overtakes yet, but the tension is building as they exit the turn. Captain Potato is gaining on Rizaldi Adha and Justjezik, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Meanwhile, the gentleman has advanced to 16, after successfully overtaking Kakarota Theteti at Detwe. Famaka and Kinch EVL have successfully moved into P3, executing a clean overtake on Lacroix 1980 from Team Blast. Meanwhile, the battle for P27 is heating up between Baker Jorinin and Mr. Drex in their Pontiac Gate DXP and Okayoki 3, who is driving a Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG. The two drivers from Racing Potatoes are closely matching their pace as they navigate through the track. Aetion 1792 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Lacroix 1980 by 42.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Gobardo has advanced to P21 after successfully overtaking Muzirius Guy. The race is starting to heat up with these strategic moves. Etroivern is gaining on Issy 1212, reducing the gap to 2.1 seconds. In the meantime, there's a tight battle for 13 between Buchazero and Electromarie in their BMW 3 CSL Homage, with Pia Petuum in the Mercedes Ella McLaren right on their tail. The competition is heating up in that group. One serious guy has advanced to position 21 after successfully overtaking both Cedric and Deplorable Apple. In response, Cedric and Deplorable Apple have shifted up to position 22, having just overtaken Feds. Feds, showing strong momentum, has also moved up to position 23 by passing Bobardo. The racing dynamics are tight as these positions continue to shuffle. Lacroixon 1980 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Waintre 94 by 2.1 seconds as they approach a potential overtake. Meanwhile, Hugo 3 and Edelbach have successfully maneuvered into Pate, overtaking Ertuan 1792. In addition, Buchisero and Electric Marie have advanced to P13 after overtaking Perpetuum. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change rapidly. Aminsons now holds power after successfully overtaking Waintre 94. In response, Waintre 94 has pushed up to 5 by getting ahead of Lacroixon 1980. Meanwhile, Lacroixon 1980 has also gained ground, moving into 6 by overtaking Retrowolf 131. The positions are shifting rapidly as the drivers continue to make strategic moves on the track. Yayo Coyote is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Kamikaze 38 and Sabina 27 by 47.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Waintre 94 has successfully overtaken Amundsen, climbing into 4th place. Captain Potato has also gained ground, moving up to 11th place after overtaking both Buchisero and Electric Marie. The race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change. Hopiaces from Wangan Midnight Runners has successfully moved into 6 after overtaking Lacroix 1980. Meanwhile, 13 Shinigami has advanced to P18, completing an impressive maneuver to pass both Suzanne Greenberg and Kazasha. The race dynamics are intensifying as drivers vie for better positions on the track. One serious guy is gaining on both Suzanne Greenberg and Kazashuk, reducing the gap by 45.6 seconds. Anonymous 3 is also making significant progress, closing in on Era 40 with a reduction of 7.8 seconds. The competition is heating up as both of these drivers are pushing to improve their positions in the race. Buchisero and Electromurray have successfully advanced to P11, executing a clean overtake on Perpetuum. Meanwhile, Perpetuum has countered by moving up to P12 after overtaking both Hugh 3 and Edelbock. In response, Hugud 3 and Edelbock have also made progress, now sitting at P13, after overtaking Rizaldi Auta and Just Jazid. The positions are shifting rapidly as the drivers maneuver through the field. Okayogi 3 is making significant progress, narrowing the gap to 1999 September by 42.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Famaka and Kinch EVL are also gaining ground on Atrevern, reducing their distance by 2.5 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these competitors push for position. Buchicero and Electric Murray have successfully reduced the gap to Captain Potato by 4.4 seconds, indicating a strong push from both drivers. They seem to be working together effectively, drafting off each other on the straights while taking optimal lines through the corners. Captain Potato will need to defend his position as they approach the next turn. The dynamics are shifting as this duo gains momentum. Kokubinanity and Maya have successfully moved up to 14 after overtaking Kakarado the 38, who has now dropped to 15 following an overtake on Captain Potato. Meanwhile, a tight battle is emerging for P21 among Wazirius Guy in the Aston Martin DBS, Cydric and Deplorably Apple, both in Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMGs. The dynamics in this section of the track are heating up as they jostle for position. Suzanne Greenberg and Kezashuk are making significant progress, now just 41.7 seconds behind the gentleman. Aetion 1792 has gained position, and is now in 7th place, after successfully overtaking Ritra Wolfen, 131. Ritra Wolfen 31, despite the loss, has responded by overtaking Poppy Aces, and has moved back up to 8th place. The race positions are shifting as the drivers continue to push for better standings. Poppy Aces is currently in the lead, but Hugud 3 and Edelbock are rapidly closing the gap, now just 43 seconds behind. Meanwhile, there's a tight battle for 12th place between Hugud 3 and Edelbock in the Audi Rate 12, and Rizaldi Ada and Just Jazik, who are driving the Chevrolet Corvette Gen 6. The competition is heating up as they all push for position. Cedric and Deplorably Apple are making significant progress on Wazirius Guy, reducing the gap by 2.9 seconds. Cedric is in position to make a move soon, while deplorably Apple seems to be maintaining pace right behind. The battle for third place is tightening as they approach the next turn. Okay, Yoki 3 said. Hey Amy, congrats on the win, Kipo. Thank you. We took home the gold today. Pry, Popper. Let's see if we can keep this winning streak going. Keep those positive vibes rolling. Flex die biceps, automobile dashing away.